we're talking about deadlift today. Deadlift, along with the squat, comprise of the most muscle utilizing or the most strength producing movements that one can do to induce muscular gains, to induce nervous system efficiency, and to build more strength, get stronger. So deadlift, apart from the squat is more a quad dominant lower body move. Deadlift is more hip hinge. So if we talk about fundamental movements, push, pull, lunge, hinge, squat. So hinge being one of the fundamental movements, and the deadlift demonstrates the hinge. It's the epitome of the hinge. So in this video, we're going to talk about how do we perform a deadlift. So for the deadlift, we have the bar generally lying on the floor. So we have the standard Olympic bar with 45s loaded, and we are approaching the bar. To approach the bar, you just don't sit and approach it. You first have to align the pelvis and the diaphragm like we did in the squat. So you take a deep breath, diaphragmatic breath, 2/3 from the belly, 1/3 from the chest, and you exhale fully. Once you exhale fully, you're aligning the diaphragm and the pelvis, and the spine is getting neutral. Now you have the right to touch the bar. Okay, so bringing the point of having the right to touch the bar, you first have to possess the ability to perform the hinge pattern without the weight. You have to learn how to hinge. You have to learn how to drive your hips back and not to bend from your lower back, rather from your hips. So hinge is your hip. This is your hinge. You're gonna bend from your hips and then come up. So that once that is mastered, then only you can load that hinge. So coming back to the deadlift. Now to approach the bar, you have to exhale fully after taking a diaphragmatic breath. Align the pelvis in the diaphragm. Approach the bar, get into a hip hinge position, a body weight hinge, and just be relaxed, and then you have to grab the bar. Now there are many different grips that people use. Power lifters in the meets use a mixed grip, this or this, which generally while training is not recommended because it causes a lot of shoulder problems because it's uneven, and people usually have their own one-sided grip and they don't mix or they don't switch it, and that is another problem. Sometimes it also causes problems with the spine. Okay, so stop doing that. Stop doing it with a mixed grip. You can still do it, still incorporate it for your final max effort set, but not for the entire deadlift training. Usually it's an overhand grip or a hook grip. You just bring your thumbs under your fingers and then hook grip. It's a little difficult to do, but with practice you can do it. And if the weight gets really heavy, you can use straps to lift the weight. Okay, be safe, don't be stupid just to lift something heavy with your bare hands. I have faced that thing myself, so don't do that. Build the capacity in your bare hands if you don't want to use straps to lift that much weight from the floor. So once you have hip hinged, now you have grabbed the bar with the overhand grip. Okay, now you have to grip it with as much tightness as possible, with as much force as possible. What that will do is the same as we did in the squat. We have to first lock in the upper body, the upper back, the lats. With irradiation, the neurons firing from the grip to the hands, to the shoulders, arms, shoulders, and the upper back and the lats, we're gonna lock our upper body, our upper back, our hands. Once that is locked, the next one comes the core. 360-degree brace. Okay, use a belt if you want, as I mentioned in the squat video, to practice bracing. If you're not very efficient with bracing, use a belt. There is no harm in using a belt even with meager weights, because you're doing it for yourself. Once you have mastered that brace, you can remove the belt for your training sets, and for the max effort sets, you can then use the weight to really get the most out of the lift. Once the core is tight, everything from here to here is tight. Now we're left with the hips, the hamstrings, the quads, the feet, the lower body. To tighten the lower body, you're in a hinge position. Now you just don't lift it from the hinge. You have to drive your hips back. So usually, if you see, there is an angle here from the vertical. Now this angle is deliberate because you are literally over, you're way over this distance, you're way over the middle part, the center of the bar, right? And once you plan to lift, once there is in the 0 second, you plan to lift it, you're gonna push back with your hips. So you push back, once you push back, you're gonna be here. And your hips are gonna be here. A little down. Now, this is what the hip lock is. You have to lock that hip. Push back and then lift it. So that is how you can, if you can assess it from the side. From the front, if you see a deadlift, there are two ways that normally people do it. There is the sumo, which is where you have a sumo stance or legs flared out and then you're lifting. It's more quad dominant and more upright. It's better for the lower back. And the other one is the conventional deadlift, where you're just lifting it with your arms out and legs in. So there are two ways to do it. Either ways, the entire concept remains the same. So another cue right before lifting, especially when you're conventionally deadlifting the bar, your knees are under your elbows or your arms. So you're gonna push your knees out and turn your feet out. So you're gonna externally rotate the feet and push the knees out. It will lock the hips together. Now that is the lower body lock. Your feet are locked. From there, irradiation happens, and because of the knees pushing out, you're locking the hips as well. So the entire body is locked that way. Similarly with the sumo, you're gonna externally rotate the feet together. And that is how you're gonna lock the entire chain of the lower body. And finally, when there's a 0th second, you have to remove the slack out of the bar. Now removing the slack means this is the bar and this is the weight. You're holding it from here. Now you have, if this is 200 pounds, you have to pull it with 199 pounds. What this will do is, it will remove the slack. You're gonna get a click sound, and then it's ready to lift. Otherwise, if you don't do it, then you have to first overcome the slack and then you have to lift it. That becomes very uncomfortable because you can lose your tightness there. So be tight, remove that slack. To just show you a demonstration in a pictorial form, removing the slack, you could imagine you're going to curl that bar up. So in your imagination, the bar should look like an inverted U, and then you're going to lift it. All the deadlift bars you see powerlifters deadlifting it with are actually molded in such a way where they deliberately get into a U shape, and then the lifters lift it. So to summarize, we have the bars lying on the floor. Exhale, neutralize the pelvis and the diaphragm, get a neutral spine. Approach the bar, hip hinge, grab it tight, irradiation, tightness of the lats in the upper body. Brace the core, 360-degree core brace to lock in the entire upper body. To lock the lower body, we have externally rotate the toes, your feet, for both the sumo and the conventional. In the conventional, push your knees out against the arms, against your elbows to lock in the hips together. Finally, remove the slack off the bar and pull. Now there's one more. Once the slack is off and you're ready to pull, Now you have to imagine that you're almost leg pressing it off the floor. Instead of imagining that you're pulling it, imagine that you're leg pressing the floor down. Leg press the floor. So all in all, you can then categorize deadlift being a squat of the floor. If you want to make it easier, because of that cue, heavier weights will bother you and will be very tough to pull. Okay, so if you use all these cues, especially the leg press one, it kind of matches with the cue where in the bench press where we tell you to imagine ripping through the bench from your upper back. That way you're creating that tension and you're imagining you're not pushing the bar but you are going through the bench. That way you are automatically pushing the bar. So this way you are automatically pulling. Okay, so that is how generally you deadlift weight off the floor. Now everyone has a different starting position. Don't think that if you're deadlifting, everyone has to deadlift from the floor. This is a different topic overall, and I'm still, I'm researching, and I still myself have that problem. I'm still thinking of what is going to be my ideal height from which I can pull with the most tightness. So you have to understand, you have to first check where you are the strongest, where you are the tightest, where you can maintain the entire joint centration and position. So from this position A to standing B position, from A to B, your entire position has to be locked. Anywhere if there is a leakage of energy, you're going to be off. Okay, if the weight is lifted, there's something going to break or the weight is going to come down. Okay, so find your ideal height, pull with the double overhand to train the deadlift in the meet. If you're training for a meet, you can use a mixed grip to get the maximum out of the lift. So thanks for listening, and let me know if you have any questions.